I'm Talia Baia, reporting for Inside the Gators, and I'm here with four-star defensive lineman Joey Slackman, who recently committed to the Florida Gators. First of all, congratulations and welcome to Gator Nation. We're excited to have you.
Thank you. I'm excited to get to Gainesville.
First thing I have to ask is why did you choose Florida and what really stood out to you compared to the other schools?
Um, Obviously the football culture in the SEC is unlike any other, but I think the history of the Gator brand is something that really was intriguing to me, and the coaching staff did a really good job of kind of explaining their vision for how they want things to go this season, and I really believe in what Coach Napier's doing.
Right. And so talk me through that process, how the team reached out, how it was informing them that you were ready to suit up in the orange and blue.
Yeah, so it was kind of in the whirlwind of the recruiting phone calls that came the week of Thanksgiving when I entered the portal, and um, I watched the last game against Florida State, and at the same time over that period, I was in communication with the coaching staff, and um, they kind of just did the best job of maintaining communication with me and building a relationship, calling every day, getting to know each other, and eventually setting up the official visit and keeping in communication through that visit, and kind of blossomed from there. Once we got a chance to, meet each other in person, they got a chance to meet me, meet my family, and uh, it was they did the best job of kind of, like I said, making that connection and building the relationship moving forward. So I really got a good feeling from them and their staff.
Right. And I see you're close with your family through social media. What do they have to say about all of this?
Well, they are obviously they're super proud of me, and I wouldn't be here without them. And yeah, we are really close, and my parents made a lot of sacrifices growing up to give me the opportunities that that I have now. So I'm super grateful for them, and um, but yeah, they're just as excited and grateful to be in this position as I am. They a couple years ago when I got to Penn, they didn't think that I'd be in this position. So it's a little surreal, but now reality is kind of setting in, and I'm excited to just get to Gainesville and get to work.
Right. And why did you decide to hit the transfer portal?
Well, so I graduated from Penn uh,
Right.
early, or one semester early, and because of the COVID school year and the way things kind of panned out, I used to be a wrestler at Penn, and I switched over to football, and I had an extra year of eligibility because of that first 2 years when I got to school, and I didn't start playing football until the 2021 season. So my college athletic career is a little unique compared to a lot of other players. But yeah, I'm graduating early from Penn, and my eligibility in the Ivy League kind of ran out. So I wanted to test out the portal and see if I could get to a bigger program that could help me develop as an individual, along with being a part of a winning program. Hopefully, we can achieve everything that I want to achieve as a team, and that we all want to. So that was kind of my goal, was to get to a program like Florida.
Right. And even with your success at an Ivy League, I saw you were named the Ivy Defensive Player of the Year. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank
Was
you.
there still a concern that perhaps Power Five programs wouldn't be interested?
A little bit. I mean, I'm I'm unique, or rather, I wasn't used to this process. I didn't really know how things were going to pan out. I am confident in myself. Like, I know that I work harder than most, and I believe in who I am as a player. And if I just can get my foot in the door of a program like Florida, that I'll skyrocket past where even I thought my potential was. So there's always that, little bit of doubt in the back of your mind, like will these programs come calling? But I believe in myself, and clearly the Florida staff believes in me, and I'm excited.
Right. And so going from facing Ivy League offensive linemen to SEC linemen, what kind of jump do you believe that is going to be? And how do you plan on preparing for it?
Yeah, so it's obviously going to be my biggest athletic challenge to date, but I feel like I'm ready for it. Obviously, the training is going to be a lot more intense. I'm going to be a lot more involved in high level football activities, from the meetings to the practices and lifts and everything that goes along with it. But Florida's got a great staff, and I feel like they're going to help me get to where I want to be and prepare for the upcoming season. And I know that I'm ready for the challenge too. And every time that I've been met with a uh, a bigger challenge in my life, I've always met the expectations of things, and I feel like I rise under pressure. So I'm excited for it.
Right. And what do you think your biggest contribution to the team will be?
Aside from my play on the field, which I feel like will speak for itself come the season, I feel like I add a leadership component with my experience and the things that I've endured at Penn that a lot of other guys might not be able to provide. That was something that Coach Napier and I talked about during my recruiting process about, how I can come in and provide that experience not only in the D line room but among the whole team and earn the respect of my teammates that way, where I can kind of provide that elder leadership position that other guys might not have experienced yet. So that's kind of an intangible aspect of me as a player that I feel like I add to the team.
Yeah, I like that. And you have announced their new defensive line coach, Coach Chapman, recently. Have you had a chance to speak with him yet?
Yeah, I got to know him over the last couple of days. He's an awesome dude. Uh, we had a
Right.
couple of phone calls just trying to get to know each other a little bit. We're
Yeah.
going to try to have a couple of Zoom calls over the next week or two before I get to campus, just to keep building that relationship. And he's got a hell of a pedigree as a coach, and I can't wait to work with him.
Is there anything he said that has stuck to you yet?
Um, he expressed a lot of the same values that I have, when it comes to approaching training and getting to work each day. And he's been at a lot of really cool places. And I think the virtue of just uh, putting your head down and getting to work every day is something that I really appreciate. And it was what he was preaching about, really caring about what he's doing. And I really appreciated that from him. And we kind of just expressed the mutual excitement for getting to work in January.
All right, so you say your initial impression was good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good. And so I know we already talked about your contribution to the team. What do you think your weakness is, and how are you planning on improving that at Florida?
um, Honestly, I think that one thing I haven't really learned a lot is specific pass rushing moves. Like, I have a pretty good repertoire from what I've kind of taught myself, but I haven't really had a coach that has focused in on transitioning from run to pass and becoming an elite pass rusher. I feel like I stop the run better than most, and that's something that will translate really well over to the SEC. But um, on the play actions, the middle distance to long distance downs are kind of where I feel like I can develop. And Coach Chapman is a great coach. The whole staff defensively is one that I feel like will help me develop in that realm. So I'm sure that they'll help me get there.
Right. And you know how important team atmosphere is. Have you made any friends on the team yet? Are you close with anyone?
Um, yeah, I mean, when I was there on my official visit, I got to meet a bunch of the guys. I met Graham. I met Trey Smack, the kicker, Jeremy Crenshaw, the punter, Derek Wingo, Austin Barber. I met all those guys, and they seem like pretty established people on the team. And um, they expressed that they really wanted me to end up there, and I'm glad that I did, because now I can build that relationship with them. And that core group of guys that I met seemed like a group of people that was really invested in uh, getting the Gators to where we want to be, and I'm excited to get there.
Right. And is there anyone in specific you are looking forward to playing next to?
Caleb Banks is one guy that I got to meet with pretty closely. We talked a little bit on the visit when I was there. I didn't really get a chance to meet a ton of the other D linemen because a lot of them had gone home
Yeah.
when I took my visit there. But he's one guy that I specifically watched against the FSU game, or when they played FSU rather, where I thought he had a hell of a game, and he's a guy that I feel like I could bounce off of and play beside. And a lot of other guys too that I haven't gotten a chance to meet yet, but I'm excited to get to know them.
Right. And this is a two-parter. First, what's your major?
So my major at Penn was political science. At Florida, I'm going to do sports management masters.
Oh, all right. And second, how hard were the classes at UPenn? And do you think transitioning from an Ivy League to Florida will lift some weight off the shoulders in the classroom?
I think so. Penn is obviously the academic rigors are difficult to handle, especially being a student athlete. But I feel like it taught me a lot about time management and
Mhm.
how to invest the proper studying and time into the classes that I was taking. But it definitely will be a weight lifted off me, partially because I think the professors will be a little bit more accommodating when it comes to understanding the the little time that I have to devote to it. But um, yeah, at Penn they really focus on academics, like everybody knows. So it'll definitely be a weight lifted off me.
Right. And academics aside, I want to talk about wrestling. I know you said a little bit about that. It was a dual sport for you. How's that going for you?
Well, so I haven't wrestled since uh the the 2021 football season was kind of the last year that I was on the
Okay.
wrestling team.
Mhm.
I'm grateful for my wrestling background, though. I think it provides a little bit of a different background for me as a football player, where it's really helpful, especially as a defensive lineman, because a lot of what I do is trying to keep an offensive lineman's hands off of me and disengage from blocks and to score in a wrestling match, especially at a heavyweight, which was what I was, uh, is very similar to what I do as a defensive lineman. So when I transitioned over to football in the middle of my college career at Penn, it was kind of a seamless transition because I had a lot of the techniques built in from wrestling, and it took me, maybe not as much time to learn the fundamentals of playing defensive tackle and defensive end
Yeah.
uh, that other guys might have. So, I'm like I said, I'm grateful for wrestling. I was a great wrestler in the time that I did it, but transitioning over to football, I think it really helped me.
Great. And what got you into these two sports? Was it always growing up?
So I actually, when I was younger, going into middle school, football was my main sport. I had played it from when I was a kid. I actually wrestled for about a month when I was in second grade, and then I begged my dad to let me quit because I hated it. Um, and he
Yeah.
he begrudgingly let me quit. But then when I got to middle school, he and a couple other football coaches said that I should pick up wrestling again because of what I just said about
Right.
how it helps you, especially for the positions that I played, learn how to play with your hands and hand-eye coordination. And like I said, the way that you score in a wrestling match is similar to how you beat a guy on an offensive line. So I picked it up in middle school, and by the time I got to high school, wrestling kind of took precedent because I got I developed faster in wrestling than I did with football, and that was kind of what got me to Penn. So that was kind of how I got into wrestling, and then I guess now it's a full circle moment where I switched back to football, and here I am now. So
Was your dad a big wrestler? Is that why he was pushing it?
no, actually, he was my dad was a football guy. He played football in college. He coached me when I was a kid. Um, but the middle school wrestling coaches and the high school wrestling coaches said like you should pick it up. You'd be good at it. I mean, um, I didn't think that it would end up getting me
Yeah.
onto the Penn wrestling team, but it did later on. And yeah, my dad was just trying to help me get to where I wanted to be as an athlete, and uh, picking up both sports and doing them simultaneously was the best route for me, and it ended up working out.
Right. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you grew up in New York, right?
Yeah, Long Island.
And so I have to ask, who's your team? Or your favorite team?
Um, well, I've been saying to people that ask me that question, my favorite team is the one that would hopefully draft me someday.
Okay.
But
I like that answer.
I did grow up rooting for the Jets,
Oh,
but
tough year.
yeah, yeah, it's been kind of tough. They've been struggling the last couple of years, but um, yeah, I did grow up watching the Jets. My dad was a big Jets fan when I was a kid.
Right. Well, no Giants, that's good. I'm not a Giants fan. And all right, so what's one thing about you that would surprise people?
One thing about me that would surprise people. Um, one thing that I think people wouldn't know about me is I actually was on the tennis team in high school, on
Oh,
top of football and wrestling.
Okay, there you go. I played
Yeah.
tennis for 13 years, so.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't played in a while. I'd love to get back into it when my athletic career is over, just because it's a sport that everybody seems like they can play throughout their life. But yeah, it helped me with footwork too. That was another thing.
Yeah, footwork.
I played tennis growing up too, so I had to stop when I got to be a junior in high school so I could focus on the other sports trying to get recruited. But yeah, I was on the tennis team in high school. I looked kind of out of place though.
Oh, there you go. Have you gotten into the pickleball wave at all or no?
I tried. I couldn't really get into it as much. I like regular tennis a lot better, but I
Yeah,
could see why people like pickleball more.
right. My mom says it's grandma tennis, but I love pickleball.
Yeah.
All right. Well, one last question. I know you're busy. What's one thing you have to say to Gator Nation?
Um, Gator Nation can expect somebody in me that's going to come in and put their head down and work every day. And that's something that I really try to focus in on, and is staying in the moment and appreciating each day, especially because I do only have a year with the program. I want to make the most of it. Uh, like I said, stay in the moment, and somebody that's going to give 100% every day, and hopefully put the best product on the field that we can as a team. And I'm going to give everything that I can to do that.
And what would you say to your future self?
To my future self, I would say, based on the effort that you put in, don't worry about the outcome of things, because if you did put in 100% effort into things, you won't have any regrets when it's all said and done.
There you go. It was so nice talking to you. I'm excited to see you on the field. Yeah, happy holidays. Thank you.
Likewise, have a good one.
All right, well, there you had it. That was defensive lineman Joey Slackman. He will be joining us next season. So if you're watching this, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.